In Jammu and Kashmir, two terrorists, including a top commander affiliated with Jaish-e-Mohammed, have been gunned down by security forces during an intense encounter in the Chatru forest area of Kishtwar. Now, the terrorists were killed in a remote area in Kishtwar district during the Trashi-1 operation in Chatru belt. One body of the slain terrorists has been recovered, while efforts are underway to retrieve the second one. The army said two AK-47 rifles and other warlike stores have been recovered from the spot. In a remarkable act of bravery, a sniffer dog of 2 para-SF named Tyson, he was the first to confirm the presence of the terrorists in the operation zone. Tyson was hit by a bullet in his leg while advancing ahead of the troops. But despite the injury, he continued with the mission, helping forces establish contact with the terrorists eventually. Indian Army's White Knight Corps said troops of 16 Corps, along with J&K Police and the CRPF, they carried out the operation on the basis of intelligence inputs from the police, IB and Army sources. The operation broke out in the Chatru belt around 11 a.m. local time after the Army, the police and CRPF received information about the presence of the terrorists. The terrorists were reportedly hiding inside a mud house on the foothills of a hill and opened fire on the approaching troops, leading to an intense gunfight. The search operation in the area is still on. Forces have been conducting sustained search operations in the dense forests of the area for over a month. This is being termed as one of the biggest anti-terror operations in Kishtwar district in recent times. Operation Trashi began in mid-January and has focused on forest and mountain belts in Kishtwar, including Chatru, Sonar, Dolgam and Char. With this encounter, a total of 6 JEM terrorists have been eliminated by security forces in separate encounters in the region this year. All right, there's more on this from our correspondent Idris, who's joining me over the phone. Idris, a big breakthrough for the Indian security services. Give us more on what this operation has been so far and what's more to come as the search continues.
Well, Shivan, a massive success for security forces as they've been searching these forest areas from quite some time because there is presence of these foreign Pakistani terrorists in the area. And today at around 11 o'clock in the morning, there was an input that there are 2 to 3 terrorists which are holed up at one of the sites in the forest area, after which a cordon operation, a search operation was launched by security forces, which included the Indian Army's 2 para as well as Jammu and Kashmir Police and CRPF. On hold, when these terrorists were holed up at one of the places, it was one of the dogs from a sniffer dog from the 2 para named Tyson who confirmed the presence of these terrorists at one of the locations which would look like a nomadic hut where they were hiding. And after that, security forces went ahead with the operation, but terrorists fired on security forces first, which led into a gun battle later. One terrorist was killed earlier, and later on, both the terrorists were killed. One terrorist has been identified as Saifullah, who's a top commander of Jaish-e-Mohammed. However, the Indian Army is yet to give the identification of these terrorists, but our sources have confirmed to us that it was a top commander of Jaish-e-Mohammed who was killed and who was wanted for quite some time. There was a bounty of 10 lakh rupees on his head, and security forces were looking for him quite some time. So major success for security forces in the Kishtwar area because, as we know, security forces have earlier said there are around 150 terrorists active in Jammu and Kashmir. 99% of them are now Pakistani nationals. There have been no recruitments in the Kashmir division of the locals into terrorist groups in 2025. With only one individual from Kashmir Valley who had joined the terrorist groups. Most of them now are Pakistani terrorists hiding in the upper reaches of the forest, whether it's in the Jammu division or the Kashmir division, and security forces making sure to neutralize all of them who are hiding in these forests.
Neutralizing all of them, as Idris correctly mentioned. There are relentless efforts coming in from Pakistan as they continue to spread terror inside India, but along with the arrests made across Tamil Nadu and West Bengal. And now, of course, this encounter in Kishtwar. Massive breakthrough for the Indian security forces as they remain vigilant.